Thank you for clicking to this video. My name is Scott Ulmer. I'm the CEO of Little Pink Houses of America, and I'm coming to you from Jacksonville, Florida. You're watching this video because you've shown some interest in our program, and we have a local partner who's expressed some interest in your home. What I'd like to do is just have a short video here that really runs through the math and explains the merits of our program and how by selling on an executive lease purchase you can really maximize the gain on what's likely your largest asset and really recognize the biggest profit potential. So let me run through this here, show you the math, and I'll kind of conclude with some questions at the end here. So first of all, on the side here we have what it costs typically to sell your home traditionally. I've done this 23 years full time, and I'm still never cease to be amazed that most folks don't realize the cost that is correlated to selling your home on the traditional market. What we say is this: most offers today will fall within 95% of their asking price. The average price home that we work with is $300,000. Obviously that will fluctuate. We've done them in the millions, and we've done them obviously as low as $100,000, certainly below that as well. But an average $300,000 home, if you take an offer of 95%, that's about $15,000 off of the price itself. We also have today in our world, and this has been going on for probably the past 10 years, it's become a standard and the norm for every buyer to ask every seller to contribute to their closing costs. The phrase is typically seller contribution toward closing costs or seller concession towards buyer closing costs. An average rule of thumb is about 3%. Now, to be fair, you don't have to accept that. You don't have to agree to concede the buyer's closing costs, but many buyers have their loan hinging upon the seller agreeing to contribute the difference, and typically it's 3%. And in this case, we put another $9,000 because that is what the concession request is. Now don't forget, you also have your own customary closing costs, and those are on average about 2%, which is another $6,000. So in a traditional scenario, it would be very normal for a $300,000 house to have about $30,000 of concessions off of the primary price. Down below here, and we put a big if, many sellers that we work with have either considered listing the home or have listed it and it has expired. Many sellers we also find on for sale by owner websites, and all of those websites have an offer to pay what's called a co-broke. A co-broke means I'm not going to list my home with you, Mr. or Mrs. Realtor. However, if you bring me a qualified buyer, I will agree to pay you 3%. So because we contact folks from the for sale by owner websites, that offer of a co-broke is part of our formula, part of our equation in many cases. So a co-broke is typically 3%. In this case, it's $9,000. If you're considering listing the house, traditionally you have a list and a sell, which is 3% typically on both sides, so 6% total. Some cases you'll be able to do it for a little less than that, maybe 5%, but today, in today's market, you're going to be paying about 6%. That's another $18,000 total. So on a typical $300,000 home, you're going to have somewhere between $30,000 and $48,000 in costs to sell your home. Let me tell you, these are approximate numbers, but they give you an idea and a general understanding of what it costs to sell in today's market. This is the traditional side. I'm going to come over this way, and I'm going to point out the pink side, and of course, pink ELP stands for executive lease purchase. We're going to take that same $300,000 home that you have, and we're actually going to put our fee on top of the price that we agreed to. So that ideally doesn't hurt your equity position. In most cases, we're going to offer you what you're asking or very close to it. For the sake of this example, we're going to pay you $300,000. Our fee will be on top of that. The down payment that we require from our buyers is typically 5 to 10%, and that will come off of the $300,000. That number will be presented to you when we make you a formal offer. Monthly payments in Jacksonville, Florida on a $300,000 home are about $2,000 a month. So over the course of a 12-month window, which is what most of our agreements fall within, you're going to generate another $24,000 that you'll receive that is on top of the $300,000. Now, yes, you have taxes and insurance, but if you're free and clear, the math is your best friend. If you have a mortgage, it's your good friend. Not your best friend, but your good friend. We understand that you have taxes and insurance that have to be taken out, and we also understand you may have a mortgage. But at the end of the day, the amount of money that will be paid for one extra year is going to be another $24,000. So if you add the two on top, the $24,000 on top of the $300,000, you then have a total of $324,000. And so as you can see over here, that is the pink number. And of course, if it has to go even 18 months, you can add another $12,000 to that number, which takes it to $336,000. If you come over here, by the way, you see a big smiley face, right? You come over here, and if you have to sell traditionally, and many people that we work with have to sell traditionally, and that's okay, you're going to walk with somewhere between $252,000 and $270,000. And yes, you get a frowny face for that too. But if that's what you need, we certainly understand. Those are typically folks that we can't work with. That's really not what fits our model here, not what we typically do. At the end of the day, that's a very big swing. In fact, the swing is so big, you're looking at somewhere between $54,000 all the way up to $70,000. Folks, that's for a 1-year window of time. If you can afford to wait with a fully qualified and vetted buyer, fully vested financially buyer, that needs a period of time before they can qualify for a traditional mortgage, the difference that you have the potential to make on a $300,000 home for 12 months, 1 year, is somewhere between $54,000 and $70,000. And by the way, that's just the difference between $324,000 and $270 or $252. Remember, these are approximate numbers, but it's designed to give you kind of an idea and understanding of how the math works in our favor and how you can maximize the profit potential on the sale of your home if you're willing to wait for a predetermined period of time. Again, these buyers have been fully vetted, fully qualified. We've seen tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs. We know why they can't get a mortgage. And more importantly, we know the exact steps they need to take to become qualified within a very finite period of time. And don't forget, we're involved with our buyers every step of the way. We see them through to the finish line, which is really important. And the finish line is them qualifying for a traditional mortgage, getting the home titled in their name, and as we say with a big smile, living happily ever after. Yes, it's a little corny, but we believe it, and it's our mission statement. Our mission statement is very simple. We create homeowners, and we're proud of it. It's our purpose. It's what drives us. Yes, we're for profit, but we want to see people own homes, and that is the platform here at Little Pink Houses of America. One final point I want to share. There's really only 4 variables to consider in every offer that we're going to make to you. The first one is going to be the price. The second one is going to be the down payment. Every buyer is coming to the table with skin in the game, again, typically 5 to 10%. The third one is going to be the monthly payment. The monthly payment will correlate to the value of the home and is very similar to what a mortgage payment would be when a bank is involved and is loaning the money. And the fourth is going to be the term or the length of the agreement. In this case, it's going to be 12 months. And so that gives you just a general idea and an approximate idea of what the numbers are at the end of the day. Thank you for watching. I wanted to just give you kind of a quick run through. At the bottom of this email will be contact information. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'd love to answer any questions you may have. If not, somebody will be back in touch with you within the next 48 hours to see if this is a good fit for you and a good fit for us. Again, I appreciate you watching, and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.